Hi. So, it's been a little while since I last uploaded. Not like super long or anything, but considering I was aiming for a lot of consistency with this, it's certainly not optimal. So, why is it taking why is it taking that long? Um, well, I've, to not make any excuses, been struggling with consistency and with just self-improvement. I mentioned in a previous video that I wanted to be held accountable, and now I'm doing just that. I'm holding myself accountable for my actions. I'm not making any excuses despite, I could make excuses of having been busy, and sure, I've had things to do. I mean, I'm not gonna say I've done nothing but, unproductive things for like the last however many days. But I certainly haven't used my time as effectively as I'd like. Now then. What have I been doing then? Well, I've been either playing video games or scrolling social media. I mean, mainly watching YouTube. But, yeah, that's what's taken a lot of my time. I've noticed especially YouTube is like a very big trap where it's very hard to get off of. Same with games. I mean, they're addicting. I mean, I know they've been made to be addicting, and it's hard to get off of them. And even when you do, you want to go back. So, one thing I have noticed, however, I actually sort of, I've mentioned before that I write some things down on a notebook on like what I want to talk about in a video. So I've got it here again. And I was actually writing these things like in nature today and thinking about what sort of video I sort of want to make. So like finding these like distraction-free environments, and this isn't exclusive to nature, though I think nature is honestly the best possible one, but anything that's really distraction-free is good. So I'm also a big fan of like libraries. I like to sometimes, fairly often actually, when I'm out on a walk or something, I'll pass by the library, spend some time there, and just continue my walk afterwards. I'll read or write something here or whatever. So something like a library is great because it's quiet, there's not many distractions. But like even your own home can be like this distraction-free environment, but you really gotta make an effort to really eliminate these distractions. So if you notice that your phone or your computer is constantly like pulling you towards them, getting you to take part in bad habits, then close them. Turn them off, and just maybe go into a different room entirely. Assuming you live with people, like your parents or roommates, siblings, whatever. They may certainly cause distractions sometimes, and that can be troublesome, but if that's like a big problem as well, then once again, nature and any sort of like public distraction-free place like a library. But yeah, that's a big part. Turn off your phone and your computer or whatever. Like, even if you go to like a library, there's a pretty good chance you're taking your phone with you. Either just straight up turn it off, or if you, for whatever reason, don't want to do that, maybe you can't be bothered to, like, if you feel like it's just fine to, mute it and then put it like somewhere out of your reach, like in a bag or something, that's also great. So yeah, that's been helping, and I'm really gonna try to focus on that more. Just going to these distraction-free environments or making one at home and just sitting down with like a piece of paper and like, let's say I'm thinking about a YouTube video, then I'm just gonna sit there and write down what I'm thinking about or what I want to talk about. And yeah. Then so I mentioned that I've been spending a lot of time on YouTube and video games. Obviously, both of these are bad habits. And I'm not making any sort of excuse of like, 1 hour of, like video games per day is okay. I don't really believe in that. I don't think it's like a certain amount per day is fine. I know, because if you have to make any sort of excuse for that, it tells you that it's a bad habit. That being said, I myself am not gonna quit video games, at least not yet. I may reduce the time spent on them, probably will actually, but here's the thing. I think a big part of like eliminating bad habits is that you gotta do it in a consistent manner. So if you feel like you're already struggling, like I've been, with getting all the things you're supposed to get done actually done, then maybe you gotta take a step back and just try to get consistent before you try to do more. It's really when you have this burst of motivation to, because if you're into self-improvement, you probably watch some like YouTube videos on it and stuff, and you may very easily find yourself having this like burst of motivation to like, okay, now it's gonna happen, I'm gonna completely turn my life around, and then you do that for like 2-3 days, and then you're right back to where you started, or even worse. And yeah, that's the thing. You gotta try to improve consistently, not just in one big burst of a, good habits. But yeah, obviously, the, in a sense, ultimate goal would be to have like every second of your day be productive. Just be productive 24/7. And of course, by productivity, I don't mean like 24/7 like work. No, obviously not. Productivity is just anything that isn't bad for you. Anything that's good for you is productive. Yeah. But yeah. I'm not gonna quit video games yet. I will reduce the time as I see fit as time goes on, because I don't believe that it's good long term to try to take steps that are too big. All right, we're back. That's happened in 2 videos now. Damn it. That's like, oh well. Gotta really do something about that. But I mean, last time it wasn't my phone, but this time it was. So yeah, actually, let me turn it, like mute it. Okay. So won't be quitting video games yet. We'll reduce the time as I see fit as time goes on. Because I don't think it's good long term to change too much right away. The biggest improvements I've personally seen in, like, no matter what I've done self-improvement related, it's always been when I start off with a little and gradually build up. Exercise probably being the best example of this. I started off with very little, built up to actually more than I could do consistently, at least at the time, like daily. Like I could do that amount, but not daily consistently. And yeah, exercising daily isn't really even like difficult for me anymore. It's become like a natural part of my day. So that's what you're obviously aiming for with like every other good habit. But the only way you'll build up to that level of consistency if you start off with a small amount. So yeah, video games, gonna reduce that over time, but I simply admit I cannot quit them completely, at least as of now. But social media, however, and I'm personally like talking about YouTube here, but obviously this applies just as much to like any other social media platform. So every video, post, whatever, should have a purpose. I'm not saying like get off of social media, and I'm not gonna get off of all social media completely and just but just I'm gonna try my very best to make the time I do spend on social media as productive as possible. So that means like not just putting on a video just because, but putting on videos that you actually want to watch, that actually maybe have some information you want. I mean, assuming you're watching this video and gotten this far, you're probably at least like, there's probably something that's like you found at least interesting or helpful or whatever. And yeah, just trying to really not just waste time with social media, but instead just actually try to learn something from it. So like, not just opening YouTube and seeing the homepage and clicking on a video that seems, like it'd be entertaining. No, not that. Something that's helpful. No matter in what way, really. I mean, even if it's like something not like self-improvement related, even then, like, at least like try to learn something from it. Don't just watch things for no reason. Yeah, that's something I'm gonna try to aim for. Yeah. So here it's probably good to say that I've clearly had trouble following my own advice in some aspects, certainly. Things like schedule or like using timers. Things like this. They're certainly very useful, and I don't like regret recommending any of those. But it's more so that I realize that there's probably more to them than what I've really realized before. And thus what I've been able to, teach, recommend, whatever. And I'm gonna spend some time thinking about that. And I'll try to do better. Because if my own advice does not work for me, I shouldn't assume that it'll work for somebody else. It might, but I probably shouldn't make the assumption that it will. I should only really recommend something that I have at least like a strong enough belief in that it'll work. And probably the best way to develop that is by actually practicing it myself. So yeah, I'll try to do better. Holding myself accountable for my failures, let's say. Yeah, I've failed, but self-improvement doesn't end in failure. If anything, it starts at it. Or, yeah. As long as you just get back off from your failures, try to learn something from them, you'll keep getting better. So, see you, hopefully, very soon. Bye.